where I can never make the perfect cup of coffee. I don't know what it is, but it's like I'll make the perfect cup of coffee, but like it's out of 100 tries. I like make a cup of coffee and I do everything the same. I do it the same temperature, I do it the same amount of milk, the same amount of sugar, and every time it just doesn't taste how I like it. And this time I've done it. I don't know what I did differently, I really don't. But I finally made the perfect cup of coffee. I haven't had the perfect cup of coffee in like 2 months. Hi, my name's Bella and I'm here today to share a video with you about something that's very sorely needed, which is how to get a proper good night's sleep, because I feel like we just don't get good night's sleeps anymore. I feel like that's a thing of the past. I mean, back in 1800s, people went to sleep when the sun went down, but now we've got electricity galore, like technology, screens, games, phones, all that jazz, and now getting to sleep at the same time at a good time is really hard for us to do, because we're just so used to having electricity and technology, and yeah, people just don't sleep that well anymore. So I wanted to make a video on it because sleep is so important. There are some people that can cope with not as much sleep as others, but it doesn't what am I looking for? I don't know. It doesn't undermine, that's the word I wanted. It doesn't undermine the importance that sleep is still vitally important, because we would die without it. And when we get enough sleep and we get the good kind of sleep, we function better as people. Our mood's better, stress is lower, we're healthier, and we're just overall better people. So I decided that the best video from the film, a little collection of videos that I'm filming, is how to get a good night's sleep. So with that all being said, I will get into the video and start my very good advice from your local witch. There are 2/4 components this video is broken up in, and that's physical, mental, and sleep environment and hygiene. So physically, how can you get yourself ready for bed? Physically, how can you make sure you have a good sleep routine? Mentally, how can you do that as well? So the first thing that is a little controversial, but I have gotten really good results with it, but it's actually to exercise before bed. Now, I'm not saying exercise an hour before you go to sleep. Don't do that. But what I am saying is when 4 o'clock hits, when 5 o'clock hits, when 6 o'clock hits, it depends what time you go to bed at. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock, maybe go out at 5. If you go to bed at 9, maybe head out at 4. Go out a light run or a light walk for 20 minutes, 15 minutes even, or some really light yoga, or a little sweaty workout, a slight, just enough to get your heart pumping. You don't want to do strength training or really intense cardio, or go out and run a 12-kilometer marathon. Why did I say it was a marathon? That's not a marathon. It's not even half a marathon. You get the idea. Exercise not too intensely and a couple of hours before bed, because your body's going to wear itself out, but it's not going to be so hyped up from the exercise that it's going to not send you to sleep. So that's why you want to make sure it's low intensity, and it is at least 3 to 4 hours before you head off to bed. So that way your body's tired, your muscles are tired, but you're not all hyped up and over energized. So the next thing to do, or the next, I don't know, I'm just listing these in tips. These are all ideas. They don't have to be in any specific order. These are just, I'm saying them as they come to mind or as they're written down in my notebook, because I have a whole bunch of notes here. Anyway, so I like to eat a light dinner, because the body, when it goes to sleep, if it has too much to digest, it will keep the body up at night, using all this energy and burning all this energy to try and burn off a really heavy dinner. Whereas if you eat something light, the body's not going to have to work as hard when you're trying to go to sleep, and you don't want your body to be working super hard when you're trying to head off to bed. You don't want your body to be generating all this extra energy when you're trying to fall off to sleep. So the next thing sort of starts to get into the more physical and mental, sort of winding yourself down procedure. Those two things were more like little pre-tips or little words of advice, but the next, physical and mental is more of like my routine ideas for how to get a good night's sleep, because it's all in the routine. It boils down to having a good routine, going to sleep at the same time, going to sleep in a good environment, and then also having good hygiene as well. And like, I mean sleep hygiene, but also I actually just mean regular hygiene as well. But anyway, getting into the whole physical thing is, I touched on the whole, exercise a little bit before you go to bed. Anyway, but after dinner, I like to do light stretches because it aids in digestion, and it does a little more to tire out your muscles in a good way, because it's coming from stretching the muscles. It's not coming from like that overexertion of the muscles, which is what that really heavy exercise is doing. And also light stretching just helps to relax your muscles at the end of the day, to sort of signify, oh yeah, it's time for me to relax now, it's time for my body to relax, it's time for me to start physically preparing for bed as well as mentally. Third thing that I like to do is to have hot/warm/cool shower. Depends what season you're in. If you're in the summertime, cool shower. If you're in the wintertime, nothing better than a hot bath or a hot shower, because again, relaxes your muscles. That's the sort of thing that you do at the end of a long day, to just sort of relax and to tell your body, yeah, it's time for bed now, it's time for me to get ready to wind my body down, time to wind my mind down. And yeah, it helps further relax your muscles, which is what you want to be doing at the end of the day, obviously. So yeah, I like to have a hot bath, and I like to make it like as super relaxing as possible. Have candles, have some nice music going, have a bath bomb, have a little book of poetry or something that you enjoy reading. Have some flowers in the bathroom if you can. I love fresh flowers or plants, because nature is amazing, as we all know, and flowers smell great and they just look lovely as well. Even though you probably shouldn't do this every night, but I like to have a little after dinner snack, as long as it's not too late and it's something light. Something light and decently good for your body, like crackers with cheese, or something that I was actually super obsessed with for a while was actually cos lettuce with ham inside, and it was so good because you're getting the nutrients from the lettuce. I like to pick the dark lettuce because that's the more nutrient dense one. You're also getting the nice taste of the ham in there as well. So I had so many of these. Probably wouldn't recommend having a lot of those, obviously, because you don't want to make yourself too fully in, but for a nice after dinner snack, they're very enjoyable. Following on with the whole after dinner snack time, a little cheeky snack. I like to have a hot drink, or just a drink that you find relaxing. Maybe it's coffee. Probably should make that decaf, I'm warning you. You don't want to be having caffeine before bed, that's a terrible idea. Just drinks that are relaxing, so like decaf coffee, herbal teas, green teas. Some of my favorites are lemon, mint, and honey hot water. Not a tea, but a relaxing drink nonetheless. Or warm milk with nutmeg. I really like those two. Very nice as long as you get the proportions right. Sort of the end of the whole physical thing, so just make sure you're gradually winding yourself down. You're just taking your time with it, doing stuff that you know is gonna relax your muscles, relax your immune system. Not relax your immune system, but just relax your inner system, and just make them realize, yeah, it's time for bed. Yeah. A little pro tip is to give yourself a sleep bracket, and this is for people who have very differing schedules every day. I think that's pretty much everyone. But the reality is you're not going to be able to do a routine, a sleep schedule routine, down to the T every single night, everything that you want to do, and go to bed at the exact same time. There are going to be nights where you might go to bed at 9:30. There's going to be times when you don't get into bed until 1:45, but the idea is to give yourself a sleep bracket. So a bracket of time where you say, okay, no later than this time, no earlier than this time. My sleep bracket is 9:30 to 11. So If I'm in bed by 9:30, that's great, but the maximum allowance time, I can't be in bed any later than 11:30, which is really great because it gives me a chance to be a bit more flexible. So, I might do something that night that's a little bit different from usual. I might have a bit more work to attend to. I might be out late doing my usual job, and I might get home a little later than usual. And so instead of going, oh damn, I didn't get into bed at 9:30, I'll just stay up until 3 a.m. because it doesn't matter now. I'll be like, no, I haven't reached my sleep bracket yet. So, I get home at 10:30. I don't have to be in bed till 11:30 at the latest, which is great. So yeah, sleep bracket. And if you can, make the sleep bracket a little tinier each day, if that's at all possible for you. If you can't, that's fine. But if you can, bring your sleep bracket down from, 9 till 11, and you can bring it down to 9 till 10. So earliest in bed 9 o'clock, latest in bed 10 o'clock. But yeah, anyway, getting into the whole mental side of things, I'm gonna go chilling with my crew, my gangsters. Are any of you gangsters? If you are, I'll know and I'll find you. It's ready to be drinking. I'm just fearful for its life. I'm so cool and energy, honestly. I'm normal. Maybe. So the next thing is mental, which is probably my favorite part because there's so much you can do, which is great because there's so many options of how you can wind yourself down mentally. But personally, what I like to do, and some good tips, are to I feel like I'm going at a million miles an hour, so let me just breathe for a moment. So this is the very first thing into the night when you're just starting to realize, it's time to get ready for bed. So, like 6, 5 o'clock, even 7 o'clock, maybe if that suits your schedule better. Just whenever you realize, it's time for you to start getting ready for bed, you do physical things. You can do them separately, or you can implement them along with the mental things at the same time. So you're sort of like killing two birds with one stone sort of thing. First thing I like to do is just to, very cliche, just to watch something that just relaxes you and calms you down. Whether it's a series on Netflix, something on YouTube, a movie. I wouldn't pick an entire movie just because they're obviously, movies are long, generally, unless it's a short film. I do like watching short films. I love horror short films. I got super into them back in 2016, and I just binged them. I binged them fast. Anyway, off topic. Second thing I like to do is to visualize. Now, this is fun because this can be literally anything you want to visualize at all. Anything that will help you relax, or your perfect sort of whatever it is that you want to do, or something that you'd like to be, or you'd like to do, someplace you'd like to see, just any kind of environment, you can visualize it. I have my favorite visualization is that I'm I'm in a river. I'm on a river in a little paddle boat, and I'm in the middle of a forest, and I'm rowing down the river, and I'm wearing a white floaty dress, and there's moss and little stones and rocks and woodland creatures everywhere, and I get out of the boat, and there's tall trees everywhere, and there's fruit bushes strawberries, raspberries, and I pick a bunch in my basket and go back to my wood cabin, and it's all magical. It's just so relaxing, and it's so much fun because you can imagine anything at all you want to imagine. And I like to get really intricate with it. Imagine what I'm wearing, how I'm feeling, what is in the environment, is it the wind, is it the smells, is it the feeling of different textures on my skin? Imagine it all, and just try to imagine something or visualize something that's going to be relaxing. So maybe don't imagine that you're in the middle of an action film as your relaxing thing, because action typically isn't very relaxing. I don't know, some people find it relaxing, but majority of people tend to find that a bit more, okay, not time for sleep, time for beating. So visualization, very fun, very helpful, very relaxing. Definitely would recommend. So the next thing is very similar to the visualization things. You could probably do one or the other. It depends what you like better. I really love to do guided meditations, or I actually really like to listen to sleep casts, which are like little sleep stories that Headspace does. I think Calm also does them, but there are a couple of free ones you can actually get on YouTube that they've done. So I love to listen to those. I love to do guided meditation. The reason why I prefer guided meditation over just like regular doing your own sort of meditation is that like it's guided, so you always know what you're supposed to be thinking about, or it's just, I find it very helpful to have something to follow along to as compared to trying to just sit there, focus on my breath, not think about anything. I find that my mind tends to wander when I'm not supposed to be thinking about anything. I would much rather be given something to think about or something to imagine, because it gives my mind a goal and my mind isn't just swimming around with a bunch of billion thoughts, because that's what happens when I just meditate. Usually I'll sit down and for like a minute I'll manage to focus on my breath, and then I'll start thinking about everything that I could possibly think about in the whole world, and it's just like, I'm supposed to be meditating right now. This isn't really working. So yeah, I love to do guided meditations, listen to sleep casts. Again, they help your mind relax, your mind get in that mindset, great wording, your mind get in that mindset of, yeah, it's time to wind down, it's time to shut off for the night and just time to chill. Yeah, so that's one of those other things that I like to do. Next thing is, anyway, so the next thing that I like to do is very, very optional, because it's something that everyone might not be into. But personally, I am, and I know there are probably a lot of people out there who are, but I love to do something spiritual before bedtime. I don't mean like that in a religious sense, but I mean, like, if you are, that's fine, go for it. Like, personally, I'm spiritual in the sense that I'm into witchy stuff, Wiccan stuff, all that sort of voodoo shit or whatever. I love to do tarot readings. I don't do them in my house because of personal reasons. My boyfriend has issues with them. But I like to do them outside. I like to do rune readings as well. I like to do use my crystals for realigning my chakras and just positive affirmations and stuff like that. I find doing spiritual thing, it's another relaxing for the mind, because it like opens up your mind a little bit more to the peculiar, to the mysterious, the unusual. And I feel like that's a really good thing to do before bedtime, because we're about to go to sleep and have dreams that are sort of unusual, weird, peculiar, mysterious, just like sort of the whole spiritual thing. And also when you do something spiritual before bedtime, like a tarot reading or a moon reading, you're given those signs by your subconscious, or you're given those messages by your subconscious, or you're given them by the universe or the energy or whatever it is that you believe in that is giving you those messages. And it gives you, when you go to sleep, it gives your mind a chance to dwell on them and to just really think about them and mull through them, which is why I like to do that right before bedtime, because it's a really nice way to wind down for the night. Next thing that I really like to do is to just write down everything on your mind. I know for a lot of people who struggle to go to sleep, or just struggle to sleep at night, it's because they've just got so much on their mind. There's just a million things swirling around in their mind, and it keeps bothering them for hours and hours on end, and they can't get it out of their head, and that's why they can't sleep. So I really like to just write everything down that's worrying me, or I like to do it in a video journal, because then I don't get hand cramps, which is great. It's just like, everything that's bothering me, whether it's something really specific in that day or that week, or if it's just something overall about my life that's bothering me, my worries, anxieties, my plans for the next day. I know a lot of people get hung up because they're thinking about, what do I have to do tomorrow? What do I have to do the day after that? What do I have to do this week? So I like to write out what I'm going to do for the next day. If it helps you, write out, what you have to do for the week or for the month even, if you need that much clarity. I just like to sort of empty out my mind of all that stress, all that worry, all the clutter and the conglomeration, and just get it out on paper. And get rid of it all, because it's time to sleep. It's time for your mind to relax. Next thing I like to do is to just like soothe my mind a bit. So give it some sort of relaxed it, and now we want to go a step further and we want to soothe it. And some ideas for soothing the mind can be like stuff like coloring in. I love those like little cheesy adult coloring books you can get. Use your gel pens or coloring pencils, or the really fancy kind if you want that. I like to doodle sometimes, just do little cute sketches in my art book and just let my imagination run wild and do whatever I like with that. Knitting or crochet, because just it's a physical thing and you don't really have to think about it. I like to listen to an audiobook or listen to some creepypastas while I do it, because it, gives my hands a chance to do something, but it's not like strenuous like at all. Like knitting and crochet is like the least strenuous physical activity that you could do, and it's really soothing as well, because like you get to make something. You get to make like a blanket or a scarf or a beanie or whatever it is that you're making, and it's the joy of like being able to say one day, hey, I made this. It's just something that everyone's a little more familiar with. Reading or relaxing, reading or relaxing calming books. Just, it doesn't have to be fiction, it can be non-fiction. I do find that there are a lot of fiction books out there that are calming. They're really nice. So like something really simple and easy, like a contemporary or a romance or like a cozy, cute town mystery. I love those kinds of books. They're really my cup of tea, even though I'm drinking coffee, but whatever. The last thing I really like to do, and I think that everybody should try and do this every day, if not a part of their sleeping routine, just part of their regular everyday routine, is to just find something to be grateful for. Even if it's the tiniest thing, like you saw an interesting leaf that day, or you had a great cup of coffee, or your last glass of water was really refreshing, or just literally the tiniest thing. Even if you haven't had that great of a day, there's always something to be grateful for, no matter what. There's always, and not being grateful for in the sense that like, oh wow, this great thing happened to me, I should be grateful that it happened to me because I don't deserve it or whatever, but in the sense that like there is beauty even in the darkest of moments. And I know that's a really cliche, stupid, silly thing to say, but like it's true. There's moments of joy and hope and light even in the places that seem the worst, and it can be really good to come to the end of the day and just think about all the good things that have happened to you, and how that you, even in the most, maybe you've had a very mundane, boring day, but even in those days, there's something beautiful, something joyous, something happy that might have happened to you. So yeah, that's sort of like the mental side of things finished up. I have like another little pro tip. I'm inserting all these pro tips everywhere. So you want to make relaxation your goal, not sleep. Your goal isn't sleep, it's to be relaxed. And okay, I feel like that's a bad thing to say, because like obviously you do want to get to sleep at night, but like don't just think about that as your end goal. It's relaxation first and then sleep. If you're relaxed, that's good, because you might get to sleep, but you might not be relaxed. If you're relaxed, there's like a 95% chance that you're gonna get to sleep because you're relaxed. It's the body's natural indication when it feels relaxed, when it feels calm, when it feels peaceful. It feels good to sleep. It wants to sleep, it wants to rest. So that's my second little pro tip. The next thing that isn't physical or mental in the sense of like routine or winding down, it's like sort of more preparation things that you can do. And that is sleep environment, which is very good and very important. But if you have an environment that you're going to sleep in every day, every night in, and it's just not conducive to sleep, or it's not making you feel good, or it's making you feel uncomfortable, or it's just not a great place to sleep there are some tips I have to fix it up and to make it a place that you would love to come to sleep, and that your body and your mind will be like, yes, I love sleeping in this place, it's the best. Some of the things are clean, pleasant smells, good temperatures, not too hot, not too cold, just a nice, good, solid temperature. Light sheets or heavy blankets, depending on the season. You know, if it's summertime, light sheets. If it's, you know, in the dead of winter, you're obviously heavy blankets. Block out all the street lights and turn on some dim shooting lights. So me and my partner, we have like this little Wi-Fi light that we can change the color of the light. We can change how, you know, harsh or how dim it is. And I don't actually like to go to sleep in full on like darkness. I like to have just a very light pink dim light, because it's relaxing for me. But like, obviously, if you like to sleep in complete darkness, definitely do that. But if you're that kind of person that you find it very difficult to sleep when it's just completely pitch black, definitely recommend maybe some, you know, some soft lamps, or some you can get these little electric candles. They look like candles, but they're all electrically powered, solar powered or battery powered, so it's totally fine to leave them on all night. This thing is obviously like, you know, tidy clean room, so you don't have garbage or trash everywhere. You know, clothes at least picked up or put over a chair if you can't fold them up, and put them away. Or the clutter, you know, somewhat organized, put them away. Obviously, you don't have to have your room spick and span before bed, but if it's just reasonably tidy, that's definitely going to help you feel better, because it's not going to be all cluttered. And when your environment's cluttered, it's hard for your mind to sleep, because it's thinking about all that clutter. And the last thing is like soundscapes. It's been proven that humans don't get to sleep very well in full silence. It's good to have some kind of sounds just very dimly in the background, whether that's a really soft chatter of a crowd, rain, fireplace, the sound of space, the sound of the ocean. There's one that I actually really love. Her channel's called Miracle Forest, and she has a ton of ASMR ambience rooms, and they're all so creative. And the best part is that they actually move. Obviously, if you're going to sleep, you don't have to, you know, watch them, but it's just very soothing to have them in the background. So yeah, that's sort of like the sleep environment side of things. The next side of things is hygiene, and I don't mean like a sleep hygiene. I mean very bluntly, just regular normal hygiene. It's really great for your body as well as your mind to be able to have like a nice hygiene routine that is just routine. You just start doing it and your brain goes into autopilot, and it's like, yes, this signifies it's time for my mind to wind down, it's time for my body to relax, it's time for sleep. So like a skincare routine, you can have a 12-step routine, you can have a 6-step, you can have a 1-step routine, or whatever it is. I love to use body lotion. You don't have to use it all over your body. If you want to, you can. I love to put it on my arms and just my legs, and my back a little bit, and my neck. You can use foot lotion or exfoliation. I find that my feet are quite tough and dry. Yep, everyone wanted to know about my feet. You gross people with foot fetish accounts, leave. Pretty sure nobody's here with that, but if you are, I also spilled coffee on my jeans, so I'm real Gucci today. I love to use a foot lotion on my feet or exfoliate, get all the dead skin cells off, just have your feet nice and smooth and moisturized. I love using a pumice on my foot. That really helps with the whole dead skin cells. It's just so nice to get it all off your feet. It's just off everywhere. I'm talking about really gross stuff with a really cheery expression. It's very weird. Another thing I really like to do is to use massage rolls. I remember seeing people use them and go, that can't be that helpful. And then I tried one and I was like, holy f***, it's amazing. Definitely using it again. I don't actually have a massage roll at home. There are ones at the gym which I was using, but I don't have any ones at home. So I've actually been using this little bicep curl. I can't remember what they're called. I can't remember the name. Is it just called a weight, or is it a special term for this? I feel so dumb. But I've just been using this part and I'll just like roll it over my foot. I feel like I should film a little example of it. I will. I'll do it. You can see how I make my feet nice and moist. Does not make your feet moist. Why? Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. And yet I'm offering you advice. So The last thing, or another thing that I like to do, is to use essential oils. I really like to massage them on my temples or on my wrists or behind my neck because the smell of them is just very relaxing. I don't know what it is about having nice smells around you, but it does something to your nasal cavities and to your brain. Because this is very relaxing. Lavender, rosehip, and chamomile, those are my top 3 that I really like to use and I've found to be very helpful for making my brain want to go to snooze land. That's a very weird way of saying sleep, but whatever. My coffee. Oh god, I'm so smooth today. I'm like, this coffee. So, with that being said, that's all my advice, all my tips, all my tricks. All my advice, all my tricks, all my tips on getting a good night's sleep and having a good night's sleep and having a good sleep routine and all that jazz. Definitely take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, if you don't find this helpful at all, then just please ignore by all means. But if you do, then let me know if your sleep improved or if your nights have been more relaxing since using any of these tips. And with that being said, I will see you in another video. Bye bye.